The story begins with a girl named Marissa, who worked for the country's most secretive spy organization, OSSM. At this moment, she was on a mission to capture a criminal named TikTok. Although she was in the 9th month of her pregnancy, she still pursued TikTok with full agility. Even while 9 months pregnant, she made TikTok and his men bite the dust. Shortly thereafter, Marissa's boss, Danger Damo, arrived on the scene and arrested TikTok. Then Marissa said that she wanted to take a leave from work to devote time to her family. Soon, she arrived at the hospital where Wilbur and Marissa's stepchildren, Cecil and Rebecca, were present. Eventually, Marissa gave birth to a baby girl, whom she named Maria. A year later, everyone was watching Wilbur's TV show, in which he was attempting to track down the real detectives. Well, when he returned home in the evening and met Marissa, Rebecca took offense and retreated to her room. Although Marissa, despite being a stepmother, had been raising her with her whole heart and soul for the past 2 years, Rebecca remained convinced. Reminding her that one has only one mother, Marissa entered Rebecca's room a short while later. Handing her a photograph of her mother, she told her that she had no desire to take her place. Furthermore, to cheer her up, she gave her a necklace as a gift, one that featured a special red crystal embedded within it. Rebecca was quite pleased by this. Afterward, she went to join Wilbur, and together they watched on TV as scientists reported that time had begun to accelerate slightly beyond its normal pace. In fact, mere minutes were now passing as if they were hours, a phenomenon of which no one had yet become aware. Then a villain named the Timekeeper claimed responsibility for the anomaly and threatened to destroy the Earth by unleashing a weapon called Armageddon upon the entire world. Later, the Timekeeper ordered TikTok to steal the red crystal, which was currently around Rebecca's neck. The next morning, the OSS called Marissa and instructed her to bring the red crystal to the office. Marissa asked Rebecca to return the red crystal. Rebecca, annoyed, handed back only the empty box. Then Marissa asked her dog, Argoto, to look after the children, and so she set off for the office herself. However, moments later, TikTok, along with his accomplices, arrived at Marissa's house to steal the red crystal. Just then, the house alarm blared, and she instructed the children to head to the secret room. Rebecca thought it was all a joke, but suddenly the thugs smashed through the front door, and without delay, Cecil and Rebecca fled into the secret room to save their lives. There they came across a video in which Marissa revealed that she was, in fact, a secret spy. And what's more, our goat wasn't actually a dog, but a robot present in the house to look after them. Argot instructed them to take their seats, whereupon the chairs suddenly transformed into jets, and they all took flight to make their escape. However, the TikTok gang soon began chasing after them. Unfortunately, Cecil started feeling nauseous and opened the window. Seizing this opportunity, the villains attempted to snatch Rebecca's necklace. But Cecil immediately hurled the vomit-filled envelopes right at them. Consequently, one of the thugs fell straight down. Soon after colliding with a bag of vomit, all the thugs tumbled down. Argo Note then reported these events to Marissa, who immediately instructed him to bring the children to the OSSB. Upon their arrival there, Marissa's niece Carmen welcomed them. She led the children into a special room, the very place where her own journey as a spy had begun. They tinkered with several machines, but nothing happened. Meanwhile, Marissa arrived at TikTok's hideout to conduct surveillance. However, TikTok soon discovered her presence and his henchmen launched an attack. Yet Marissa made short work of them all in a flash. Witnessing this, TikTok fled the scene. Elsewhere, Rebecca and Cecil, dreaming of becoming spies themselves, attempted to operate the weapons lying around, but to no avail. They then decided to venture out on their own to capture the Timekeeper. Just then, some security guards spotted them. Assuming the pair had infiltrated the headquarters, the guards gave chase. However, Argot used his powers to outwit and evade them. The children then entered a specific room where they learned that OSA spies had previously attempted to locate the Timekeeper's hideout, but had failed to succeed. It was then that Cecil read a cryptic message written there. A light bulb went off in his mind, and he realized that the Timekeeper's hideout was actually located inside a watch shop called Big Time. Using their wits, the two of them subsequently managed to reach that hideout. Meanwhile, Carmen called Marissa to inform her that the children had run away. Marissa asked her for the children's whereabouts and immediately set off toward the shop. Inside the shop, the children discovered a hidden door that opened into a room. To enter, they passed a large clock, where they spotted a computer displaying a documentary. The documentary revealed that during an experiment conducted in 1930, an Armageddon weapon had turned a child into a statue, effectively freezing him in time. Many years later, with the aid of a red crystal, that child was finally freed from his temporal prison. Then Rebecca realized that these ruffians wanted to get their hands on her necklace. But suddenly TikTok appeared, captured the children, and presented them before the timekeeper. The timekeeper was just about to snatch the necklace from Rebecca. Just in the nick of time, Marissa and Carmen arrived on the scene. Soon, a fierce battle erupted between Marissa, Carmen, and the timekeeper. Suddenly, the children's weapons activated as well, and they too began relentlessly pummeling the enemies. Before long, Wilbur received word of the skirmish, and accompanied by his cameraman, arrived at the location in search of the spies. Amidst the battle, the timekeeper appeared to be gaining the upper hand. Consequently, Marissa urged the children to flee, but at that very moment, the timekeeper stole Marissa's necklace. Later, upon stepping outside, Wilbur called Marissa to share the good news that he had successfully recorded the battle between the timekeeper and the detectives. Hearing this, Marissa felt a pang of fear. When Wilbur showed the video to his boss, the boss was astonished to see that the people fighting the timekeeper in the footage were none other than his own wife and children. Utterly bewildered, he suddenly knocked a coffee cup onto the computer, accidentally deleting the video. As a result of this blunder, his boss fired him. Poor Wilbur gathered his belongings and walked out. Later, when he met Marissa, he was furious with her, for she had kept this entire truth hidden from him all along. Marissa explained that she had concealed this fact because she had quit her job on the very day she gave birth to Maria. However, Wilbur was still unable to forgive her and drove away. Meanwhile, time was passing at a rapid pace. It was then reported at the OSSC that the Armageddon weapon was being held under extremely tight security on level 13 of the OSSB building. Boss Danger warned that if anyone were to steal Armageddon, the total annihilation of Earth would be inevitable. In this case, Common's brother, Uni, also joined the investigation as a detective after many years. When OSSN angrily threw her badge at Uni, for she was quite upset by Juni's sudden departure, Danger dispatched numerous spies on a mission to capture the timekeeper. He then went personally to meet Rebecca and Cecil, praising their bravery and telling them that they too could become spies when they grew up. As he turned to leave, Rebecca suddenly noticed that his watch bore a striking resemblance to the timekeeper's watch, and Cecil realized it as well. That if you were to rearrange the letters of his name, Danger Damo, they would spell Armageddon. Upon hearing this, Danger suddenly slammed the door shut. It was then revealed that Danger was, in fact, the timekeeper. He locked the children inside the room and stepped out himself. Meanwhile, Marissa, Carmen, and Uni were heading toward a watch shop when suddenly the children called Marissa to inform her that Danger was the real timekeeper. However, Marissa assumed that the children were simply playing a prank on her, as usual, and he hung up the phone. Then as he stepped inside, the timekeeper removed his mask, leaving everyone stunned, for it was indeed the dangerous Damo. He had discovered that Armageddon was hidden right within the OSA building, and that his men would soon reach him. He then took control of the chips embedded in all the spies' badges, trapping everyone in time and turning them into statues. However, since Uni's badge had been discarded by Carmine, he alone was spared. He immediately contacted Rebecca and Cecil, instructing them to intercept the timekeeper's men on level 13. Meanwhile, Argoth smashed through the door using his powers, and the children made their escape once again. Elsewhere, Uni extracted the chips from Marissa and Carmine's badges, thereby freeing them. Meanwhile, having reached level 13, Cecil and Rebecca began their attempt to retrieve Armageddon, only to find a highly dangerous machine awaiting them there. Just as they were forced to shut the door, TikTok and his henchmen arrived on the scene. They not only took the children hostage, but also seized control of the Armageddon. Meanwhile, Wilbert was watching TV when Argot suddenly called to inform him that the children's lives were in danger. Elsewhere, when the children confronted Danger Damo and asked why he was doing all this, he revealed that years ago, his father had been behind the experiment. He explained that the child who had become trapped in time was none other than Danger Damo himself. His father had spent his entire life attempting to free him from the confines of time, but he ultimately failed. Then a few years later, scientists discovered a red crystal, an artifact possessing extraordinary powers that could be used to liberate Danger Damo. When Danger was finally set free, he discovered that his entire family had perished. Consequently, he resolved to use the Armageddon to travel back in time and reunite with his father. However, Sushil observed that Danger had attempted to travel back in time on previous occasions as well. Yet each time, matters had only worsened. In fact, TikTok and his entire gang were themselves the unintended consequences of his tampering with the timeline. Understanding his anguish, Rebecca advised him to simply spend the remainder of his time living happily. Yet Danger turned a deaf ear to everyone. Taking the Armageddon with him, he stepped into the time machine. This time, he was also in possession of the red crystal, which enabled him to successfully travel back in time. However, within mere moments, so he returned, now significantly aged, for repeated journeys through the time machine exacted a severe toll on the human body. Upon his return, he finally came to the realization that the past cannot be altered, nor can her father ever return. Therefore, she ought to spend whatever time she has left in happiness. But suddenly, TikTok attempted to attack the children. However, Wilbert arrived just in time to save them. As TikTok tried to flee, the cute Maria tackled him to the ground, demonstrating her strength. And finally, the whole family is reunited once again. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.